Okay. Good. Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for coming. What does it really take to be a digital airline? We are going to try to unpack this today, but first, 5 cents about Latam and about me. Last year, I was here explaining Latam's digital transformation journey. Latam Airlines are a 90-plus year group of airlines that operate 330 planes in 5 different domestic markets. Our affiliates are leaders in 3 of them, and we are #1 Latin American group and 14 worldwide in terms of passenger transport in 2023. Some of our strengths are an unparalleled network, more than 100 destinations in South America, a loyalty program with 45+ million members, our ability to transport more than 1 million tons of cargo, and our alliance with Delta. And now about me, I'm Ricard Vilà, I'm the Chief Digital Officer of Latam, and I want to show you where I fit in Latam's organization. But first, a bit of context about the industry. This is how an advanced airline org chart would look like. Functional division with the CEO reporting, the CIO reporting to the CEO. Some average airline might have the CIO reporting to the CFO. So Latam is an advanced airline, so that's a good scenario for me, reporting to a CIO that reports to a CEO, and being able to lead a software factory that builds features for the business with some degree of agility, right? Well, it's a bit better than that. First of all, we believe in servant leadership, and we like to remind ourselves of that by drawing org charts upside down. So the CIO goes there, she's Juliana, and she focuses on creating the best conditions for me to perform at my peak. Second, there is no software factory. Because I'm not the CDO, I'm the co-chief digital officer. Nicolas Salazar is the other co-chief digital officer, and he is guided by our chief commercial, and together with the same goals, we call it a digital at core organization that we call eBusiness. eBusiness is an organization fully accountable for the customer digital experiences throughout our digital channels, the web, the app, WhatsApp, NDC, you name it. And in eBusiness, technological levers and business outcomes are fully contained within. eBusiness is a flat 3-level organization of around 700+ people, and we are organized following the 2 main customer journeys, order to cash and door to door. And we leverage the power of business platforms, and we use chapters as our vehicle to keep up with the latest advances in the different crafts required to build amazing digital experiences. Chapters also serve us to source talent for the different teams and squads that are in our digital shop. So that's me in the org chart. And now we wanted to answer, what does it really take to be a digital airline? Airlines activities are mostly physical, right? Maintenance, baggages, airport operations, counters, planes taking off and landing. So the digital activities carried out by an airline are only a small fraction. However, our customers experience us mostly digitally. They spend months interacting with us in the inspiration phase, making the bookings, interacting through WhatsApp, managing the order. We mapped the customer journey, and we spotted 62 interactions within the customer and the airline. 79% of them were digital. But when we count daily interactions, this number rises to 92%. So the customer journey is mainly digital. And then they spend a few hours with us physically. If we excel, the first company employee they will meet will be the cabin crew at the airplane. So what are the competitors that set our customer expectations? The ones our customers see for a few hours? Or the ones they see for months in their phones? The answer is both. Physical expectations are set in our customers' minds by looking at other airlines. Digital expectations are set in our customers' minds by looking at other apps, but not other airlines' apps, but the best apps. Hence, an airline needs to excel at both battlefields. The digital one, where we have a lot of customers to win, and the physical one, where we could lose them forever. And the most important trait of a digital organization is the ability to respond fast to changes in customer preferences. The airline industry has carried for decades the weight of legacy technology, monolithic vendors, outsourced integrators, and long projects. We have been slow, very slow. And for decades, we have been only cost-oriented and pursued economies of scale. We need to learn to become customer-oriented and to pursue economies of speed. But without forgetting what we excel at. So we need to be able to do both and to choose wisely which one to use, depending on the challenge we face. Airlines learning to walk the digital transformation path first will become industry leaders. And this digital transformation path is less about technology and more about people and culture, much more than most of us think. Last year, I talked about technology. Airlines who want to succeed in the digital arena will need to be able to crack culture, people, and technology. So this year, I want to talk about people and culture. And I will start talking about labor markets. Traditionally, the bargaining power in labor markets was in the employer's side. He was the buyer of time in exchange for a salary. Organization structures didn't change much, and the main key result for the HR organization was labor cost. Is that true for a digital labor market? Let's analyze supply first. The digital professionals are supply in this market. These are people that face highly complex socio-technical challenges, need a broad understanding of multiple disciplines, deep knowledge in at least one, but hopefully more, and they need social competence. And how are the extraordinary digital professionals, the A players? They all have in common, having gone through meaningful experience, they are fast learners and proficient communicators. And a crazy fact about supply, worldwide, the number of digital professionals double every 5 years, which means that at any given point in time, half of the market has less than 5 years experience. And demand, it grows even at a faster pace. So, in the digital labor market, supply is in shortage, and supply of A players even more. So companies buying time in exchange for a salary will at most get average talent. So what attracts digital professionals? My thesis is that intrinsic motivation is the primary focus for companies. That should be their primary focus. Autonomy, mastery, and purpose will bring stunning colleagues to the team. And A players attract more A players. And for extrinsic motivators, salary is key. Collaborative businesses are okay too, but grades, status beacons, or even individualized bonuses have no to negative effect. So this is how I see the digital labor market. The bargaining power shifted to the employee. And this digital professional will bring their whole heart and soul to the quest, only to companies that create outstanding motivational environments. So for employers, the better the environment they create in terms of intrinsic motivation, the more they will be able to move away from top-of-market compensation to get top-of-market talent. So can we fully outsource bringing digital talent to become a digital airline? Outsourced talent is very good to access existing pools of talent. It's good also when you need to grow or shrink in a fast pace, though it's risky. And it's also amazing to nurture yourself from experiences that you would not have access being in an airline. But proofs of successful cultural changes centered only, exclusively around outsourced talent are scarce. And I think this is because customer focus is key for a digital transformation, and you need your people passionate firsthand about your customer. So, if we want to become digital airlines, we need to learn to attract and retain insourced digital talent. But we are airlines. We are not digital natives. We have dozens of unions, external regulation, internal policies built up for years to contain labor and litigation costs. What do? No? We could say, after all, 96% of our employees don't live in a digital labor market, so let's just outsource this problem. Good luck with this approach, but I would not want to be in an airline that thinks like that. On the other extreme, we could pretend to be like a digital native, and I'm super interested to know how it would go if you took that path. Today, we think this approach is still too risky for us. We need an approach for both worlds. So we opted for accommodating a dual talent model. We continue improving our existing talent model for employees engaging in the physical world, and we create a brand new talent model for the 4% of airline employees that are directly involved in the digital quest. It is not easy to accommodate differences inside an organization, but if you succeed, you can aim for the best of economies of scale for the physical world and the best of economies of speed for the digital world. So let me introduce you our digital talent model. I will use the acronym DTM from now on, and I want to start with a disclaimer. A training for a new hire in the digital talent model is 90 minutes. So I have 9 left. I will do my best to scratch the surface. We started in 2021 with a group of motivated individuals inside Latam. Can you recognize anyone in the picture? We collected ideas from different sources that inspired us, and we mixed them to create a singular model to address our challenge. We knew we had to start defining why we were doing this, and we were super conscious that these were not our competitors for the digital talent. These were the ones we should aim to compete with. Hence, that was the why: to offer a value proposition to attract and retain digital professionals that come from our future at plus or minus 6 hours from Santiago with a sustainable cost. We started laying the foundations of this 2 years before, in 2019, defining our core digital values. We wanted customer centricity and outcome orientation, and we also wanted servant leadership and constant and candid feedback, which are carved inside collaboration and promote well-being. And we wanted curiosity and excellence, which are included in continuous learning and craftsmanship. When we designed the model, we did it so that it could uphold them all, being collaboration the key value that vertebrates the model. We also defined who was our digital professional target. We pictured it as somebody who is really motivated about the content of the challenge, and that on the other side has very low motivation on prestige signs associated with title and ranks. We run away from this extended trend of creating a myriad of roles that try to capture expertise and tenure of people, put them in boxes in order to convey that some Peter is more important than some John. We went the opposite way. And we simplified it to only 3 roles that express if the person chose to lead others or not. Okay, we're halfway through, and now I need your cooperation. I will ask for 2 shows of hands, okay? Ready? Yeah? Good. Show of hands, please, those of you who can see a duck in this picture. Okay? A lot. Thank you. Now, all those people that saw ducks, can you see a rabbit? Great. Excellent. What has just happened is a paradigm shift in your mind. When we only see rabbits, we talk about carrots and jumps, but we don't talk about flying. Paradigm shifts open up new possibilities that didn't exist before. With the digital talent model, we removed all governing constraints from the previous system in order to define a model that would be attractive to the digital professionals we were targeting. Some of these paradigm shifts were something like being able to earn more than your boss, that was impossible in the previous model, being able to move from individual contributor to leader to individual contributor again, because we don't consider these movements promotions or demotions, only movements. We moved from individualized bonuses to a collaborative one, and we removed all status beacons. And this is the image that we used inside IT and eBusiness to refer to the digital talent model. This is our attraction toolkit, this is our retention toolkit, and everything is based in the culture we intended to model. And we are continuously improving it round after round after round. We call this part the virtuous circle, and it is the part of the model that appeals to intrinsic motivation. This circle spins every 6 months, and we will explain it in detail right away. This is the part of the model that covers extrinsic motivation. We wanted to promote meritocracy without promoting internal competition. So we went for a collaborative bonus, so everybody is multiplying by the same number, which are the group results, and then salary increases for those who stand out above average. This happens every 3 months, but this does not mean that everyone has right to a salary increase every 3 months. But it does mean that everyone is at most 2 months and 29 days away of the next opportunity. So, how does this look like in practice? Before that, it is important to recall that in traditional systems, feedback ideation has been a solitary process for leaders. It happened usually once a year, and it ended with a grade. And many times, good feedback session ended up soured by the person receiving a lower grade than the one he or she was expecting. The exit level and Latam opens up with 3.4. And I still vividly remember that year which I got 3.38. That was many years ago. So, how is it in practice, now for real? The 3 bubbles of the virtuous circle turn into 5 steps. Step number 1, group creation. Group creation is key to have good quality augmented observation. The whole organization is divided into groups that are collectively exhaustive and mutually exclusive. And each group has a list of observers and of observed people. And observers, it's critical that they have good observability of the maximum number possible of observed people. Then we start collecting observations. There are 3 types of observation for a leader. Observations from leaders that are relative to his peers, observation from leads that are particular to that leader, and punctual observations that can come from anywhere. Observations have a structured question and 2 open fields to describe the glows and grows that the observer sees in that person in the last 6 months. Then comes the alignment session. This alignment session happens after leaders have read all the collected observations. It is a collaborative session where leaders interact. And the goal in this session is to enrich each leader view of each person with observation from peer leaders. Then feedback happens. We consider feedback is a big gift. And the feedback we are offering is a curation made by the leader of their own views, is a curation made by the leader of her own views and others' views she can make sense of. And this happens every 6 months. This way, everyone in the organization gets better inputs twice as frequently. We remove grades. We don't see value in them. We believe that only a binary message is required at the end of the session, a green light to signal that all is good, or a yellow light to convey that an adjustment needs to be made. And finally, growth. We want everyone at Latam to understand growth as a synonym of learning, not of achieving a higher rank. We don't believe in defining career paths for each expertise track. We believe that we should be open to people wanting different things. And we believe people should want to be the masters of their own destiny. We believe that our role as an organization is to make sure that leaders rise up to the challenge of empowering each individual to design their own path. And we invest energy to stimulate peer-to-peer training and to provide resources for learning to everyone. With a bit of luck, many professionals will be able to say that their me next version is a better version than their me now was only 6 months before. So we are about to finish our 5th iterations. What are the results? If we start with qualitative results, we have heard lots and lots of good things. Things like, I have received the best actionable feedback of my life. Things like, I had never given such good feedback. The model has improved me as a leader. Things like, finally, I can do what I love without having to play a role that is not my passion. Or getting a salary increase unexpectedly connects me with Latam on a different level. Things like, there is a clear organizational investment in developing better leaders, or the model has enhanced the way we live our values. But there is also some bad comments. Comments like, I don't have enough observability to make this, or it is a lot of work. And they are true. Building augmented observability is hard. And it is more work than it used to be. And we also hear, from time to time, ugly things. And when we do, we remind ourselves that we need to relentlessly continue to explain why we believe that the digital talent model is a great model. Now let's go to numbers, okay? Organizational Health Index is a McKinsey methodology to improve long-term organizational performance. It is conducted yearly to more than 2,600 companies in more than 100 countries. And one of the interesting things of this methodology is that you can compare yourself to the whole sample through quartiles. So in 2017-18, at Latam, the IT organization got an all-time low. We were closing an era in which IT had behaved as a cost center for many, many years. And we were starting to aspire for a seat at the table in the business conversation. And we realized how far we were from that. In 2019, as I explained, we started building our cultural foundations with the definition of our core digital values. It was also the year in which we started the digital transformation I explained last year. By the end of the year, we rose 20 points to first quartile. Then COVID hit, and we were able to sustain the position. And in 2021, we started to work in the digital talent model. Around October, we conducted exhaustive trainings to all our professionals, and we launched in 2022. We rose 9 more points and reached the first decile. And then in 2022, the virtuous circle spun twice, and twice again in 2023. And in each iteration, we improved the model. So we rose again and again, increasing a total of 16 points since we started working in the digital talent model. And this is a remarkable achievement. We were able to reduce turnover by 11 points. In our recruitment processes, candidates entering the upper funnel rose threefold, and we started to attract talent from our future. So we were showered with good results, and we also learned a lot. First thing is that you truly need to believe that it is about people. If you have other conflicting priorities, you will fall in contradictions, and it will not work. Design it with a group of motivated individuals that are representative of the organization, and be intentional about the culture you want to model. A flat organization will speed you up and increase your chances to succeed. And as with every change, think big, start small, and move fast. Finally, leading is the leader's main job, so don't be afraid of designing a model in which they have to devote to their people twice as much time as they used to. Probably the time they were devoting before was not enough. So to wrap up, airlines learning to walk the digital transformation path will become industry leaders, those who do it first. We need to learn to attract and retain in-source digital talent. A dual model can bring the benefits of economies of scale and the benefits of economies of speed. And be intentional about the culture you want to model. But if after some days you are only going to remember one idea from this presentation, remember this. It really is about the people. Thank you, and a big thank you to the crazy ones.